We are extremely excited about this year and about this team. I think that they have put in a tremendous amount of work over the off season, in the spring season, building a culture and building really an identity for themselves. We've now actually had 3 practices in the books, and I feel very confident in the level that we're practicing at. It's a high level. We have a lot of learning to do with 14 freshmen and sophomores on the team. But the players are really, I think, hungry to be a great volleyball program. So we're excited with where we're starting, and we're excited very much with the types of energy and the type of push that we have going into the season.
Rose, can you just kind of tell us what you've kind of done recruiting-wise here the last couple of years to really attack and get those players that you want, and kind of what you've now built this team around?
I think the first thing that we really wanted to do is we wanted athletes. We went a little bit to the guys of we don't care necessarily how tall people are. What we want is athletes, and we want players that can play a multitude of positions, and we want athletes who are extremely competitive. And once we felt that players reached those criteria or had those criteria, then we looked at them as volleyball players. Because one of the things that we really want to be about is competing and being able to be competitive on a consistent basis and not just be pigeonholed into I only play one position or I only play one way. We want athletes who are competitors.
So you were with this group last year. What kind of transition have you kind of seen in the offseason with the addition of some other younger bodies, and I guess what have you kind of taken from the older group to kind of pass along to?
Yeah, I think it's really awesome that we got so many new players. Last year we didn't have as many, and I think that the new girls are really good for our team because they all bring a different sort of skill set to our volleyball community, and so far they've blended really well with our chemistry and helped build our team in all different ways.
For your group, for sophomores, what did you learn last year just from the season of college volleyball?
Yeah, well, a lot of us played last year. I think everyone got in at least a few games. So I know, being new freshmen on the team, it was something really exciting. But being able to play and then come into this year, I think we feel more confident. And it was nice getting that playing time freshman year just to kind of see how much we can grow. And I feel like this year we've already grown so much, especially just playing on the court and getting used to the big crowds and this big high level of volleyball. It's really helped. So I think that this year we can take a bigger leap and just get so much better.
Coach Shires, you lost a real good player last year in Sadie Limbic, who's looking to take her spot and keep it alive for you guys.
Well, I think losing Sydney, obviously a 4-year setter starter, is a big loss to any program, and I think Sydney brought a lot of great things to our program. So it does matter a lot who your setter is, and I'm very fortunate that this year we have 2 outstanding setters in our program. We've had the opportunity to have Jacqueline Taylor with our program since January, and I think she's really setting a foundation for I think a very high level of play. I don't think that there's anything that's going to miss a beat. In fact, I think things are going to be at a higher level for us.
Also talk about the roster turnover from last year to this year. As I've looked through the roster, it's just a lot of new names and everything that we're going to get.
I need a scorecard in practice.
But there's going to be a lot of names we're going to get accustomed to and everything. Just talk about the roster turnover and how excited you are to show everybody that you have a really good volleyball team this year.
I think young players, new players bring a lot of energy into the program. And honestly, the energy at our practice is as high as it's been in a decade. Every single athlete has a very specific role at our practice. I think they clearly understand what their roles are and what we expect them to bring. And they're not just meeting our expectations, they're exceeding our expectations on a daily basis. And I'll even say on a rep-by-rep basis, they're exceeding what we're asking them to do. And because of that, with the new players, with the returning players, the culture that we want, the chemistry that we want, this is a player-driven program, and I'm allowing them to have the reins and really, truly drive the bus.
You kind of mentioned it before we started here, but what are your expectations for this team? And because you have such a young nucleus, how can even this kind of set the foundation for not only this year, but next year and the year after?
Well, I think right now what we're really focused on is the process. We're focused on each skill getting better, learning a lot as a player, as a position, and as a team. Ultimately, where we want to be at the end of the season is we would like to be vying for a Summit League championship and vying for a berth in the NCAA tournament. I feel we have the tools to do it, but we have to allow ourselves the growth opportunity. With 14 freshmen and sophomores, you're going to have a lot of learning to do along the way, but I have to allow them to have those opportunities, and the team themselves has to give us those opportunities. They have to work hard, they have to be present, and they have to bring the energy that says, I'm in a learning mode, and they are doing that. And it's my opportunity to allow them to succeed and fail. And if they're failing at something, we're going to teach, we're going to help develop them, and we're going to really just cheer them on as they go through this process. But right now, this month is about the process, and we'll let winning and losing take care of itself when we get to that point.
How do you stay patient through all these growing, because you're going to have growing pains, obviously, with such a young roster?
For me, honestly, when I watch practice, when I'm involved in practice, it's very easy to stay patient because of the energy and just the hunger, the desire they have to learn. The errors they're making are errors that people make when they go 100% at a drill or at a skill, and they're making an error just because they're learning how to do it. And we have to create an environment that allows them that opportunity.
Can you take us through the roster a little bit, just both what you expect from your returners and how you expect some of the newcomers to fill in?
Well, I think if we started at our seniors, what we're looking at is actually two seniors. Mackenzie Corki, who this is now her 5th year with us. She had to medical redshirt a year because of her ACL. I feel that Mackenzie is athletically back to the way she was her freshman year prior to the injury. And I honestly believe that she's playing the strongest volleyball of her career right now, both front row and back row. I think her jump is back up to touching 10-2, 10-3 consistently and flying. So I see great things from her. Also, Abby Brixton, who's our other senior. Abby was a transfer from Iowa Western a year ago. She actually had to step in and help us out quite a bit because of our injuries last year. Abby is, I think, in the best fitness level she's ever been in. I think she hits a tremendously hard ball, as probably Claire can attest to.
Yes.
And I think that she's a solid front row player for us. I think she will bring a lot of just consistency. And then I think if you look at our junior class, what are we, 1 in the junior class now? We have a transfer from Drake, Courtney Moorhead, who Courtney is a Bell West player, and she's a local kid. Her high school coach played for me and was a great defensive player for me as well. And I think Courtney brings a lot of consistency on the court and a lot of game experience on the court. It's nice that this year Claire has challenge in the libero position. I think it's only making Claire better every day to know that she has 3 other defensive players challenging her. If we look at the freshman-sophomore class, I'll just kind of highlight because we don't have all day. There's a lot of them, aren't there? I'll start first with Jacqueline here to my left. Jacqueline transferred at semester from Creighton, and I think immediately elevated our program, not just in terms of her skill and her abilities as a setter, but in her skill and abilities as a leader, and what she expects and wants from her teammates and from the team she's on. So she's brought a complete package to us, and you'll see Jacqueline really being a force at the net as well as a setter for us. So don't be surprised if she hits a few balls as well. I think if you look at other sophomores, we have our returning middle blocker duo of Bella Sade, who was Conference Freshman of the Year, and Anna Blashko. Both of those two young women as freshmen were number 1 and number 2 in the conference in blocks per set and in hitting percentage. So to have those two back, they'll be challenged for their position by Riley Marshall, Fort Calhoun grad, who I think Riley is just going to be a beast of a player as she gets to know this pace and gets to know kind of the vision and the decision-making of a middle blocker at this level. If I were to look at some of our freshmen coming in, I think that somebody that you should probably really keep an eye on is Sadie Limbic, who's from a very small town in Missouri, but played her club. Her high school was Santa Fe, Missouri. I don't know if you guys have known that one, but their volleyball net was anchored onto the stage at the high school. So that's how big the school is. But that girl is a heavy hitter, and I think that she's going to definitely make a waves in the conference this year, and I think could challenge for Freshman of the Year in the conference. I think the last person that I would probably mention right now is Leonard, who transferred from Canisius in June, and she is an outside hitter, and as a freshman, she led their team in kills, and so I think that she's bringing some hitting power for us as well.
Jacqueline.
Oh.
I was just going to say, could you take us through your transition, just from the decision to come to UNO, and I guess just getting up to speed with things in the spring?
Yeah, of course. So I chose UNO because I think the whole athletic department as a whole is growing. I mean, our saying as a team right now, if you see Rose's tweets on Twitter, she'll hashtag new herd. And I think that's like, it's a maverick herd. So it's really, it shows that our team is new. We have 11 new people, including me and Courtney from January. And I think coming in January was really helpful because all the returners were really helpful in the spring. And even now with the freshmen, it doesn't even feel like we're a whole new team. Like, it feels like we've like known each other for such a long time. And so I think, yeah, it just.
Why did you ultimately make that decision to take the leap to leave Creighton and then come across town?
So I left Creighton and I came to UNO because ultimately I wanted to get on the court more. And so I came to UNO, and I think there's a really good opportunity here. Sid Case is the other setter on the roster, and she's very good. And I think we compete with each other. We love to compete. And so I just think together we make a good duo as a setters for the team. But I think we have really good pieces on the team that'll go all together and to make us a great team that no one has seen before.
Claire, you played a lot as a freshman, and now you're a sophomore. Just talk about more of the leadership role you're having to take on this season.
Well, my goal for this season is just to be more of a vocal leader now that I'm like used to playing and used to the environment around me, and just like to help out the freshmen since all of the new incoming like DSs and liberos are new. Just because I knew how it felt last year, and just to almost like kind of show them the ropes, even though most of them are pretty up to speed on skill and everything. But just like my goal for this year as a team and for everyone and for myself is just like to play with more confidence and just take on a more leadership role, helping all of the freshmen, because now I have a year in the books and I feel like it can be really beneficial.
Did you feel overwhelmed at all last year at all? Was it good insight now?
At sometimes, yeah, but it was always fun to play with the team. Everyone was really welcoming, and like I felt connected with everyone on the court always, but sometimes it was overwhelming just because I'd never experienced it. But once I kind of got in the groove, it was a lot easier to play and just like enjoy what I was doing.
Any additional questions for Coach or the student athletes?
Last question for you, Coach. Your season was injury plagued last year. With the season a couple weeks away, what's the the status of the health of the team?
I'm going to say first and foremost, these young women have. The word diligently doesn't even cover it, but they have worked tremendously hard at their fitness level. And I would dare say this is the fittest, the strongest, the fastest that we've been in a very long time. We're full go right now at practice. We don't have anybody holding out. We're ready to make some things happen.